About 10 days ago, I released a video introducing TimeTrader for the first time. Since then, I've received quite a few emails and questions, and I realized there seems to be some confusion about what TimeTrader actually is, and more importantly, what it is not. So in this video, I want to take a few minutes and just clear things up. We'll talk about what TimeTrader is designed for, how is it similar or different than OmniEdge, and some of the strengths and limitations I discovered while testing this tool. I also want to set realistic expectations because no indicator is perfect and trading is never as easy as some people make it out to be. Toward the end of the video, I'll also share the results from one of our members who has been testing TimeTrader in real time using a Prop Pro account. So let's get started. So let's begin with, is TimeTrader something unique? I think as someone put it, is it its own thing? It is not. TimeTrader is based on OmniEdge methodology. So this is OmniEdge. This is what I use, these levels, OmniEdge levels, I use in the trading room every morning. It is the most reliable way, in my opinion, of identifying targets every day for the New York session, for any liquid market. I know I use the NASDAQ a lot, but that's because a lot of people trade the NASDAQ. In the room, I also cover the S&P. You're going to find this effective in gold, YM, or pretty much anything else you like. It doesn't only identify targets, it identifies market condition, meaning where is the market bullish, where is the market bearish, and best areas to enter trades. TimeTrader shares the same methodology, pretty much, a very slight difference, but it shares the same methodology, same ideas, and same concepts as OmniEdge. So how is TimeTrader different? All right. So OmniEdge identifies those levels for the session. In theory, it means it could take up to 6.5 hours for those levels to get reached. Normally, it doesn't take that long, but it could. With TimeTrader, you pick the times you want to trade, and based on those times, TimeTrader identifies the targets in a very similar way that OmniEdge does. The difference is the session is defined by you, by the hours you pick that you want to trade. So you would go into the indicator, as you see here, and you pick, let's say, 3 to 6 a.m. Let's say you like me, you're an insomniac, you can't sleep, or maybe you live in Europe, and you decide to trade the London session. So you would put, let's say, 3 to 6 a.m. There is a second window here, and you can put whatever you want, maybe 10 to 12 or 9:30 to 11 or whatever you pick. And based on this, TimeTrader finds the target. The approach is the same as with OmniEdge. Above the midline, you want to be long. You want to be fading the targets because very often targets would result in a reaction, just like with OmniEdge, until eventually price breaks through, retests, and goes higher. So that is pretty much identical to OmniEdge. Another feature that TimeTrader has is the idea of a bias. Now that is based on a method that I use in the room often. I use it specifically with the S&P, but of course it could be used on a NASDAQ as well, or really any market. I'm not going to go into details here, it becomes a whole different video. It's basically the connection between price and time, where price is due to occur, a specific price is supposed to be reached by the market within a specific period of time. So the filter that is built in here looks for indication of prices within the current 60-minute bar. What this tells you is that the filter identifies that within this 60-minute bar there is a price that is above the midline that is supposed to be reached. Not necessarily the target, but just above the midline. Because of that, now in this case there was no price action below the midline, but we will see some situations where there is and how the filter handles it. What the filter is saying is it's not interested in short trades. Even if price went below the midline, it would not generate a bearish arrow. It would stick with the long side because it identifies a price above the midline that is coming up fairly soon. All right, so now let's look back at this week, morning action from this past week, and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So on this morning, we see TimeTrader immediately identifies a long price. This is the filter, I should say. The filter identifies a price above the midline, and there is a nice move higher. Doesn't quite reach the target yet, but again, this filter does not mean that the price that the filter that is indicated in the filter is the target. It could be any price above this midline. Now, when price comes back, it goes right through the midline, but you see there is no short. So in this case, the filter just, it did not identify a price below the midline, and so there is a missed opportunity on the downside. And that actually brings me to an important point. As far as the effectiveness of the filter, from my testing, I find it to be around 70% as far as accuracy on this bias, on this direction. So it will miss opportunities. If you're trading with a filter, you will be missing opportunities, as really with any filter. And also sometimes it would be outright wrong. So that's the reality. Actually, here we can see that, right? So here is a long that would immediately step out, because just like with OmniEdge, price closes on the opposite side or goes below the midline. In this case, you got to be out. Yes, later on it came back, but you don't know this in real time. You must get out of a long when price goes below the midline like this. Now later on, you see again no short, but it continues to insist on the long side. So this method that I'm talking about, and I use it in the room as well. So those of you in the room, you guys would recognize this. When there is an indication, let's say for a 60 or 120 minute period, where I say a certain price should be achieved in that period of time, it does not mean that price cannot go the other way first. I mean, we see it all the time. It could still happen. This is a demonstration of this. You see how the filter still insists on longs despite this move down. This move down did not negate the fact that there is a price that is anticipated above the midline. From trading perspective, this definitely presents a challenge, and that's why I say despite of what the filter might say, you still must approach this the same way you would approach an OmniEdge setup and stops. So there are a few, of course, opportunities on the long side. Target is hit, reaction, target is hit, reaction. So very similar again to OmniEdge. Okay, let's go back again. I believe this was Wednesday. So again, at first, no signal long or short. Nothing is identified. And here, where there was a mistake. Right, so filter says up, and it actually price went down. So this long would have been a stop out, right? Price gets below the midline, gotta be a stop out, reaches the target, and the accuracy here, right? Reaches the target, reacts back to the midline, and here the indicator is now the filter indeed still insists on the downside. So you see no long signal. Despite the fact that bars closed above the midline, no long, still insists on shorts, and here it hits the target. All right, the previous day, once again, you see completely insisting on the downside. Just insisting on the downside. It didn't matter that price crossed above the midline, didn't want to hear it. It was all about the bearish side. Sure enough, price goes all the way down to the target. And this will be the last day from last week. As soon, right out of the gate in this time window, TimeTrader identifies the filter. I keep saying it's really the filter of this indicator. Identifies price above the midline, and this time very smooth, no heat, pretty much right to the target. Now, we do have a trader now who has TimeTrader. He's the only one who has been helping me with testing the effectiveness of this tool in real time. My condition was that he must trade only one micro, not multiple micros even, because I don't want any scaling in, scaling out, and then it becomes kind of questionable. I just wanted one micro, all in, all out. My goal here was to see how someone other than myself would do trading this tool along with the filter. Now, as far as why only one person, why this particular trader, well, you see, my goal was to really test the indicator, not someone's discipline or trading skill. In other words, obviously, if someone has discipline issues or not enough trading experience, well, then it doesn't matter pretty much what what tool is used. It would not be effective. This particular trader has been with us for over a year. He posts every day. I've gotten to know his trading style. He is very disciplined. So I thought it would be a good fit to basically see what he can do with this, because I figured if he would not be successful, well, then the issue is not in trading. The issue would be with the indicator. That's what I wanted to separate, the effectiveness of the indicator as opposed to someone's trading ability. So he's trading one micro using a TPT account. He shares his screenshots and his totals. So this past week, of course, was only a 4-day week. Friday was an abbreviated day. We don't trade on abbreviated days, but I hope you can see this. So this was overall his total for the 4 days. And yes, the title of the video was a bit of a clickbait. Obviously, the $4,000 projected income here is based on a full month of trading at this rate of profit, which of course it's only been 4 days and we can't assume that. So we'll see how the rest of the month progresses. So TimeTrader will be released mid-July. Anyone who completed the course will be eligible to receive this indicator. The reason I insist on the course is because, again, the methodology here is very similar to that of OmniEdge, and because it's something I created, it's very important to me that people understand what is going on, not just following arrows, not just following some indicator, but understand why these levels are there and why, when targets achieved, there are reactions and market conditions and everything that goes into this. And while I'm getting more and more excited about this tool, the more I am testing it and now seeing results from someone else, it is definitely not something that would end all the challenges of trading. Trading will always be challenging. Price movement will always be unpredictable. So it's definitely not like, gee, we're going to get this and now it's an easy way forward. No, we're going to continue to have the same challenges. But I do believe that this tool can add to our edge. And success in trading, it's all about having an edge. There's more to it. Yes, there is the discipline, there is the emotional thing, psychological, of course, yes. But there is nothing without an edge. There is no way that I know of one can be successful in trading without an edge. Once you have an edge, You still have to work on yourself to perfect all the other components of successful trading. Please leave this video a like, make sure you are subscribed to this channel, make sure you visit at least the public area of our Discord server. Thank you all. I'll see you next time. Ready.